What if everything you thought about getting good with money was wrong? What if you didn't need a complicated spreadsheet, you didn't have to give up lattes, and you definitely don't need to be a Wall Street genius? For most of us, personal finance can feel like a secret language we were never taught. It's complex, intimidating, and honestly, a little embarrassing to talk about. You work hard, but then you look at your bank account at the end of the month and think, where did it all go? Trust me, you're not alone. So many people feel insecure about their financial knowledge. But what if it could be as simple as following a 5-step roadmap? A clear path to take you from financial stress to financial control. That's exactly what I'm going to give you today. The complete beginner's guide to taking charge of your money. Here at Money Sketch, we believe understanding your money is the first step to freedom, and it's a skill anyone can learn. We're going to cut through the jargon and the confusing advice. So, if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start building a better future, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. All right, first up is the one step everyone loves to dread, but I promise we're going to make it painless. Budgeting. When you hear that word, you probably think of cutting back, restrictions, and no more fun. I want you to flip that idea on its head. A budget isn't a restriction, it's a plan. It's you telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It's about being intentional. The simplest way to start is the 50-30-20 rule. Think of it as a guideline, not a strict law, so don't stress if your numbers aren't perfect right away. Here's the breakdown. You take your after-tax income, the actual cash that hits your bank account, and split it 3 ways. First, 50% goes to your needs. These are the absolute must-haves. Rent or mortgage, utilities, essential groceries, getting to work, and the minimum payments on any debts. If you can't live without it, it's a need. Next, 30% is for your wants. This is the fun stuff. We're talking Netflix, dinners with friends, a new video game, your hobbies, saving for a vacation. This is why the 50-30-20 rule works. It doesn't force you to give up what you love. It just builds a framework to enjoy it responsibly. Finally, and this is the most important part, 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. This is for future you. This includes paying off debt faster by contributing more than the minimum and building your savings. This 20% is your ticket to financial freedom. Now, to make this work, you have to know where your money is really going. So for just 1 month, track your spending. Use a notebook, an app on your phone, whatever works. Don't judge yourself, just track. At the end of the month, sort everything into needs, wants, and savings. You'll probably be surprised. Maybe you're spending way more on wants than you realized, or maybe your needs are eating up 70% of your income. That's okay. This isn't about feeling bad, it's about gaining awareness. Once you have that snapshot, you can start making small, intentional tweaks to get closer to that 50-30-20 goal. So you've got a plan for your money. Now, how do you protect that plan when life throws a curveball? Your car breaks down, your pet gets sick, you suddenly lose your job. Sound familiar? For too many people, an unexpected bill is a catastrophe that sends them straight into debt. We're going to prevent that. An emergency fund is just a stash of cash you set aside for true emergencies. This isn't your vacation fund. It's not your, I found a great deal on a TV fund. This money has one job, to save the day so you don't have to reach for a credit card. How much do you need? A great starting goal is to save 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses. Just look at your needs category from your budget. That's your target. If your essential expenses are $2,000 a month, you're aiming for an emergency fund between $6,000 and $12,000. I know, that can sound like a huge, impossible number. Don't let it paralyze you. You don't save it overnight. You start small. Your very first goal could just be $500 or $1,000. That amount alone is enough to stop most minor panics and give you some breathing room. And where do you keep this money? Not in your regular checking account where you can accidentally spend it. You want it liquid, meaning easy to access, but separate. The perfect spot is a high-yield savings account. These are online accounts that pay way higher interest than most traditional banks, usually with no fees. That way, your emergency fund is safely tucked away, but it's also growing a little on its own. Your money is working for you, even when it's just waiting. Okay, you're tracking your money and building your safety net. Now it's time to tackle the monster in the closet. Debt. I'm talking about high-interest debt, especially from credit cards. Carrying credit card debt is like trying to swim with an anchor tied to your ankle. With average interest rates often climbing into the mid-20% range, your balance can explode if you're only making minimum payments. That system is designed to keep you trapped. But we're going to build your escape route. There's good debt, usually low interest for an asset that grows in value, like a mortgage, and bad debt, high interest for things that are consumed, like credit card debt. We're laser-focused on crushing that bad debt. There are two popular strategies for this. The debt avalanche is the most efficient on paper. You list your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest, make minimum payments on everything, but throw every extra dollar at the debt with the highest interest rate. Once it's gone, you roll that money onto the next highest one. This method saves you the most on interest. But there's another way that, for many, is more motivating. The debt snowball. Here, you list your debts from the smallest balance to the largest, ignoring interest rates, and focus all your extra cash on wiping out the smallest debt first. Why? Because when you pay it off, you get a quick, powerful psychological win. That victory gives you momentum, and you roll that payment into the next smallest debt, creating a snowball. So which one is better? The one you'll actually stick with. If you're a numbers person, go Avalanche. If you need quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball is your best friend. Both work. Pick one, commit, and start chipping away. As you get a handle on your debt, you'll naturally start improving something else that's incredibly important, your credit score. This 3-digit number can feel like a mystery, but it's one of the most important numbers in your financial life, like a financial report card. Lenders use it to decide how risky it is to lend you money. A good score unlocks better interest rates on cars and mortgages, helps you get approved for apartments, and can even lower your insurance premiums. In places like the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, the factors that influence your score are largely the same, and you just need to focus on two key things. First, making up about 35% of a FICO score is your payment history. Pay your bills on time, every single time. One late payment can seriously hurt your score and stay on your report for years. The easiest way to nail this? Set up automatic payments for at least the minimum amount due on all your bills. The second most important factor, making up about 30% of a FICO score, is your credit utilization ratio, the amount of credit you're using compared to your total limit. If you have a $1,000 balance on a card with a $10,000 limit, your utilization is 10%. The general rule is to keep this below 30%, but the lower the better. As you pay down debt with the snowball or avalanche method, this number drops and your score will climb. Pay bills on time and keep your balances low. That's really the core of it. We've made a plan, built a safety net, started our escape from debt, and polished our financial report card. Now for the final step, the one that builds true long-term wealth. Investing. If budgeting and saving are defense, investing is your offense. It's how you finally make your money start working for you, instead of you always working for it. The secret sauce behind all of this is compound interest. Earning returns on your returns. Imagine you invest $100 and earn 10%. Now you have $110. The next year, you earn 10% on the full $110. Now you have $121. That extra dollar doesn't sound like much, but over decades, that effect snowballs into a massive avalanche of growth, all without you lifting a finger. The most important ingredient for compounding is time, which is why starting early, even with small amounts, is so powerful. Okay, you're thinking, but how do I actually invest? It feels like you need to be a stock-picking genius. You don't. For nearly all beginners, one of the best and simplest ways to start is with index funds. Think of an index fund like a basket that holds tiny pieces of many different stocks. Instead of trying to pick the next big winner, an index fund just tries to match the performance of a major market index, like the S&P 500 in the US. You get instant diversification, which spreads out your risk, and they usually have very low fees. You can invest in these funds through tax-advantaged retirement accounts, like a 401k or IRA in the States, an RRSP or TFSA in Canada, an ISA or SIPP in the UK, or your superannuation in Australia. The most important thing is simply to start. Set up an automatic contribution every month, no matter how small, and let the magic of compounding do the heavy lifting over the long term. And there you have it. That's the 5-step roadmap to taking control of your money for good. We've gone from making a plan, to building a safety net, to creating an escape route from debt, to understanding your credit score, and finally, to planting the seeds of your future wealth through investing. It might feel like a lot, but you don't have to do it all at once. Remember, this isn't about becoming perfect overnight. It's about taking one small step. Your first step might be just tracking your spending for a week. Or maybe it's opening that high-yield savings account and setting up a $20 transfer. Whatever it is, the key is to start. You now have the map. All you need to do is take that first step. If this was helpful, be sure to subscribe for more simple money guides from Money Sketch. And I have a question for you. What is the very first step you're going to take after watching this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.